I'd like to welcome y'all back to another episode of Beyond the Fear podcast, a place where y'all come for motivation, inspiration, uplifting, and overall positive word. I'm your host, DJ, and today's episode is just about how the timing will never be perfect. You know what I'm saying? I was having a conversation with a few of my friends. Well, yeah, a few of my friends from work, coworkers, and we were just talking about how just some of the things that we want to do, whether that was, traveling more, doing. One of my friends wants to do a podcast. Another wants to, just do videos on YouTube, I guess sketches and stuff like that. And we were all just kind of talking about like the obstacles and things like that. And what I had to, what I started to realize, and because I went through it myself, was, a lot of us kept saying the same thing, like, man, we waiting on the right time and the timing ain't right um, because of the kids or because of this and because of that. And I just had to tell them, like, the timing it's never going to be perfect. Everything's not going to line up just right for you to go and pursue your dreams or pursue the things that you want to do. There's always going to be something popping up or someone um getting sick or something happening. There's always going to be something. So, even if you can't plan that big trip, to go outside the country, you plan that trip to go, to the next state over. Plan that trip to go, do it, start small. It don't have to be a big thing, but start doing something, and as far as like the podcasting thing, I told him, like, you don't need all of that equipment, right? That's just stuff that you're telling yourself because you're scared to try something new. You're getting ready to do something new. You're scared, you're nervous. You don't know how everything's going to work. So, you're telling yourself, well, I can't do it until I have the proper equipment. I can't do it until I have the best cameras. I have the best mics. I have the best setup. I'm like, you don't need any of that. You know what I'm saying? All you need is your cell phone. And, if you got a tripod, and hit record. And then if you can get you some mics, the beautiful thing about now is that like with TikTok, with Amazon, with everything like that, you can get you a tripod and a mic for a good price. So it's not like you have to break the bank for those things. But the point is, you just got to go do it. Just hit record. And I think that was the main thing that I heard when I was getting ready to start my podcast. That was the main thing that I heard, is just hit record, just do it, just record it, post it, put it out there, just do that thing, and that was the thing that I heard the most, was just people saying, man, just go do it. Things will never be perfect. Just go try it out, and there's nothing wrong with, you're going to start wherever you're going to start, and it's going to get better as you get more information, as you get more feedback from your followers, as you start to see things yourself, things will start to get better, and the better feedback and all that stuff, you'll get to where, your podcast and things to get to where it needs to be. But just start. That's the biggest hurdle. That's the biggest step, is just starting. And so that's what I try to get them to understand, as someone who was in their shoes, just a year ago, nervous about starting, nervous about putting myself out there, recording myself, talking about things, being nervous about the negative space, that people like to be in when it comes to the internet and all of that stuff. And it can paralyze you, if you think about it long enough. It can stop you from doing the things that you want to do, the things that you may be called to do. So that I was just trying to motivate them, to get them to see that, hey, you don't need all of that. If this is something that you're passionate about, if this is something that you really want to do, how much do you really want to do it? And if you want to do it bad enough, then just go do it. No, it's not going to be perfect. No, it may not live up to this standard that you have in your head because you're watching people on YouTube and all that stuff, or you listening on whatever platforms you're listening. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you listen to podcasts on, you listening, and you might think, oh, they have the best setups or the best intros, outros, whatever, you know, but you got to understand that they got to that point at some point. They probably didn't start that way. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, or if they did, you don't know the resources that they had to help them get to that point or help them start that way. You know, it's just a lot of things that go into it. So I just try to get them to understand, like, don't compare, you know what I'm saying? Don't compare what you're trying to do with what someone else is doing. Don't compare if your quality doesn't look like someone else's quality. Don't compare, you know, your results. If you do, once you do record it and then post it, don't compare your views to someone else's views. You got to understand, like, this is what you choose. This is what you're choosing to do. So you got to go do it. You know what I'm saying? It's not about looking like, sounding like, acting like this person and expecting to get the same results that they're getting. Cause that's first of all, it's not fair to you. And second of all, it's not fair to the other person because you don't know how long it took them to get there. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how long they were posting and getting no traction to get to where they are. You know what I'm saying? So don't just assume that you're going to come in day one and be right there where they are. You know what I'm saying? You're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing them a disservice because they may have been posting for 10 years and now it's finally starting to hit, you know, and you expect them to come in and do what they're doing now, you know, and from day one. You know, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're only hurting yourself because the moment you see that it's not doing that, then you're going to be so discouraged that you just decide to quit. So we were just talking back and forth and we were just having like real conversations, and you know how that goes when you're when somebody's saying one thing like, no, I'm just waiting on the right equipment, and you telling them like, and then you're asking for, in my case, I was just asking, are you really waiting on the right equipment, or or is that just an excuse? You know what I'm saying? And so people are naturally going to get defensive because I was also someone who got defensive, and I still get defensive at times, but I didn't take it personally because I understood. I understood what my questions would potentially bring out in people. So I wasn't mad when they were getting upset. I wasn't mad when they were getting frustrated and they wanted to, you know, start yelling and doing out, because I understand, because you know, they might be used to people just saying, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I got you. And I'm not doing that. I'm kind of pushing, not because I want to be the bad guy, but because I want to see you be successful. And in order for that to happen, these are real questions. Like, it's one thing if there's something that you legit can't do. So for example, if you want to get into gaming, you want to stream your games, but you don't have the equipment to stream, that's one thing, and that's fair. You legit just don't have the equipment to do it. And it's a whole nother thing if you have equipment to do something and it may not be to the quality that you want it, but you can still get it done. And so some of the stuff that they were talking about doing, like doing the sketches, doing the podcast, again, it may not be the quality or the setup that you want, but it's something that you can start doing right now if you wanted to. If you absolutely wanted to, you can hit record on your phone and start doing that podcast 100%. You know what I'm saying? I know for a fact because that's currently what I'm doing right now. So, you know, I wasn't saying it to be the bad guy. I was saying it to really see, okay, are you serious about this? Or are you just going to get defensive? Are you at least going to hear me out? Are you at least going to say in the back of your head somewhere, have the thought of, you know what? He's right. Even if I don't want to hear it, even if he's not listening to what I'm saying or listening to my excuses, he is right. And if this was something that I really wanted to do, and if this podcast really meant doing the podcast really meant that much to me, I do it. Now, one of the things that he said was that he wants to do the podcast with a friend, and the friend isn't ready. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. You know what I'm saying? Because even at one point in time, I wanted to do a podcast with some people, and it just didn't work, or it just hasn't worked out up to this point. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't really revisited the idea. So, and that may come down the line, but I was serious about doing a podcast. I was serious about sitting down and pouring, at the time it was frustration, but pouring my frustrations and pouring my energy and efforts into something, and so me waiting on other people, I probably still wouldn't be doing a podcast to this very day if I was waiting on, other people. And again, no knock to them, they have lives, they have families, they got things that they've got going on. So you know what I'm saying? I understand if in their minds they're like, man, ain't no guarantee of money behind this, we're not seeing any money. There's no chance of money. So why would I invest my time, energy, effort into this when there may not be any return? Completely understand that's not their dream. It's mine. My dream is the podcast, or my focus is the podcast. It's not theirs. So I would never get mad at them for, not doing it, or for dragging their feet, or for not being as enthused as I am. I completely understand. I'm not mad at that one bit. And that's what I tried to, you know, get him to understand, or just to get him to see, is that if this podcast, if doing this is your dream, you can't wait on other people to make your dreams come true. You can't wait on other people to help facilitate your dreams. These are your dreams. You can't expect other people to have the same energy and focus that you have for the stuff that you want. That may not be something they want. You know what I'm saying? So while you sitting here, the time that you're wasting waiting for him to, your friend to, say, okay, let's do it, you could have been started. And that's the thing. You can bring your friend in at any point in time, but go do it. Go start it. Go show your friend, hey, you're serious about it. You know what I'm saying? And that might be why your friend's dragging their feet, because they may not think that you're serious about it. So go do that thing. Go hit record. Go put a show together. And even if you don't post it, send it to them. Show them. Let them know that you're serious. Let them know that, hey, we may not have all of this, all the fancy whoop whoop. We may not do, what I'm saying? We may not have all of this stuff, but I'm dead serious about doing this. So when I'm asking you, hey, do you want to do this? Hey, are you ready? Just know that I'm serious. Just know that I'm committed to this. You know what I'm saying? And to show you this, hey, put 2-3 episodes together if you need to show them that you're serious, to show them the things that you want to talk about, the format that you want to follow, and things like that. And then, as you do it, you get comfortable with it. Your friend sees that you're serious. And then at some point, you just bring your friend in, and you blend it. You know what I'm saying? But don't put a hold on your dreams just because you're waiting on someone else, or because you believe that you can't do it by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or even if you believe that they're the key to your success, or the key to making it pop, or getting the views, whatever it is that you're thinking. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, but what I am saying is, don't let that be the reason that you don't start. Don't let that be the reason that you continue to make up excuses why you can't do it, because that's all you're doing. And I'm telling you this because I'm speaking from experience. Don't think that I wasn't that same person saying, oh, I need this equipment, I need that equipment. And I know y'all can't see, but over in the corner is a pile of mics and all types of stuff that I went out and bought, because it's just like, and buying it made me feel like, okay, I bought another piece of equipment that bought me another couple of weeks to make excuses because I don't have everything. Then I buy another piece, and it's like, okay, I got another piece, but I don't have everything. That buys me some more time. And then it was just kind of like, all right, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Just telling a lot of my friends about doing the podcast. And so, at some point, family, friends like, hey, what you doing? What's going on? What's happening? And it just got to the point to where I just had to stop procrastinating. Literally, it took me like 2 days to figure out a name for the podcast, but once I came up with the name, that kind of sparked everything. Once I came up with the name, then it was like, all right, let's just go do it. Let's just go record. And I literally recorded 3 episodes um over like the span of like that week. And then I dropped all 3 on my birthday. So so I'm sitting there telling them all of that, just start doing it. Do you have a name for your podcast? What are you going to talk about? We just got to talking about these things, and time, as how it goes, like when you're talking about something interesting, something that has your attention, time is going by. So lunch is getting ready to be over, and you know, and so we at that point now where we're talking about ideas as far as like what they want, they would talk about, names of the podcast. We're talking about different types of sketches that they would want to do and things like that. And I told the person who wanted to do the sketches, I'm like, hey, whenever you need me on, let me know. I love to do it, because I don't get, because I'm doing a podcast by myself, so I don't get very many opportunities to show, like my funny side. I love to make people laugh. I love cracking jokes. I love having a good time. And I don't really get to show that as much on, the podcast. But, if, you want me to do the sketches, I'll be there to do it, and I love to do it. I would enjoy it. I'd have fun with it. Excuse me, because that's just my thing. Making people laugh has been my thing since I was like a little kid. That's been like one of my defense mechanisms. Is like, whenever I see people sad or in a bad space, it's always it's just something in me to want to make people laugh. And that's like even at my cousin's funeral, just trying to make people laugh and just making sure that they understand, like, yeah, we lost someone very close to someone with a beautiful personality, but that doesn't mean, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't want us to be sad. They would still want us to smile. They would still want us to laugh. They would still want us to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? And they would understand that, life doesn't stop here. You know what I'm saying? Their own, back home where they're supposed to be enjoying, their time. They've put their time in here, and now they're off enjoying life, in heaven. So we have to do the same thing. The best thing that we can do for people is just continue their legacy and just continue moving forward, celebrate their life, celebrate the light that they were. And that's just my thing. Like, I just love to make people laugh. I love to make people just smile, have a good time. Like, even if we are gathering for a very sad reason, we can still celebrate that person and we can celebrate life. You know what I'm saying? Every day that we wake up is a blessing. And, and a lot of us, we have our we have our mental together, and we're physically able to move. And so it's a lot of things to be blessed about. And I know that at a funeral, I think it can be a bad time, or it can feel, what's the word I'm looking for? It can feel disrespectful to smile and to laugh. But for me, that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I can't change that. You know what I'm saying? Obviously I won't be disrespectful or distasteful when I laugh and when I smile and when I joke and when I have fun, but I still gotta be me. You know what I'm saying? If I see my family and friends crying and stuff like that, of course I'll go console them, but I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be okay. You know what I'm saying? She will want you smiling right now. She'll want you having a good time. She'll want you enjoying yourselves because she understands that your life has to go on. You got to continue going. So sometimes we can fall into that despair, and you know what I'm saying? I just be trying to help people not fall into that, because as someone who's been there and let their depression and that despair take over, I understand how strong that current can be, and that current can take you so far away from who you are, because the pull of that current is so crazy that I do my best to just try to catch people when I can. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I'm not going to always see everything. And even if I do see it, it doesn't mean that I can catch it. But if I can, if me joking, if me smiling, if me, you know what I'm saying, trying to put a smile on your face can do anything, can help in any way, then I try to do all of that. And I just went off on a tangent. But so I say all of that to say, if he's serious about doing if he was serious about doing the skits, I told him to hit me up, and I'll come through and show support. And I was just talking to the other guy, like, hey, once you get the podcast up, because I'm talking positivity, I'm gonna talk life into the podcast. I'm gonna talk life into you getting ready to do the things that you want to do. So when you do have me on, man, I'll be your first guest. I'd love to come on and talk to you, talk with you about whatever it is that you want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it was like a pretty good conversation. It was a cool conversation, but it just showed me that, what I already knew. And that's just, we let our fears get the best of us too many times, especially when we're diving into something new or trying something new. We let our fears control us. We let our fears dominate us, and we'll talk ourselves out of anything. We'll let our doubts consume us, you know what I'm saying? Because all it takes is one. And it's like I said, especially talking for me, once I get that one doubt or that one bad thing in my head, like where I think it could fail, now that's just where I'm focused. I'm staying in that negative space. But like I've said, I've been doing a lot of work. I've been going to therapy. So I'm doing the work, and, I'm not in that space anymore where I stay focused on the negative. Do I think about it? Sure. I think it's important to think about the things that can go wrong, and how can you help improve it before it goes wrong. But I don't stay there. You know what I'm saying? I think about it, I catch it, or I'll see it, and then I'm trying to work things out, to where we can avoid those things. But I don't stay in that space of negative, negative, negative. I might think about something that could go wrong, and then I'm thinking about how I can help make it right. And then it's on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't stay in that negative space. And it's been a beautiful thing for me, just kind of getting to a place where I don't stay in those negative spaces, where I can find positive in the negative, where I can find things to learn from, no matter how bad the situation is, because there's definitely been a lot going on in my life these past couple of months. But for the most part, I've been able to find positive things in all of those negative things. And so when I take a step back and I really look at that, you know what I'm saying, it lets me know that, number one, I'm doing better. I'm getting to a better place in life. When something bad can happen, but I can find the positive in it, or something bad happens and I can find the lesson in it. I'm just not focusing on the bad, and I'm not kicking myself, or I'm not having this all poor me mentality, how I used to for the longest time. So I definitely see the growth, and it's given me a lot of courage. You know what I'm saying? You know how that goes. Like, whatever journey you're on, when you start to see the results, it makes you feel good about the work that you're doing. So that's just where I am. I'm starting to finally see some of the results from the work that I'm doing in real time, and the way that I handle things that happen with family, with friends, with co-workers. It's just showing me that I'm getting to a better space. I'm getting to those spaces that I've talked about wanting to be in. And so now that I'm starting to see the results of that, it's making me feel good about the stuff that I'm putting in. But I say that to say it has to start with you. Whatever changes you're trying to make in your life, whatever new things you're getting ready to do, understand that in order to make these new things happen, there's going to be things that have to change in your life, whether it's your surroundings, your environment, the people that's surrounding you, your mentality, your habits, whatever it is, stuff is going to have to change in order for you to make these new things work. So, if you're serious about doing something new, whatever this new thing is, understand that it won't be easy. There are going to come challenges, and making this new thing happen is going to force you to become a new version of yourself. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with putting yourself in new surroundings, putting yourself around new people, and, moving in ways that you didn't move before. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying to do things that change you morally, that go against your morals, that go against, whatever your life principles are. What I'm talking about is just, if you're serious about doing whatever it is that you're doing, you might have to go in spaces where, people, this is what people do. So if you want to do, for example, the podcast or the sketches, you got to go around the people who do podcasts and who do sketches. You may not know nobody from that world, you know what I'm saying? But that may be where you have to go. That may be those are going to be the people that you have to talk to. Those are going to be the people that you have to tap into. You're going to have to be in the comments, reaching out to those people, or in the emails, reaching out to those people, or, in the DMs, reaching out to those people, getting information and seeing about, setting up an interview, or just coming in, seeing if you can shadow them for a couple of days and do what you need to do. But you got to be serious about it, man, because if you don't put in the work, and you don't take yourself seriously, and you don't dedicate yourself, then you can't get mad at other people when they don't take you seriously, and they don't put in the work for you, and they don't, show dedication to your thing, because you got to understand, this is your thing. This is your business. This is your dream. This is what you want to do. You can't expect other people to care for it if you don't. You can't expect other people to take care of it if you don't. You can't expect other people to work on it if you don't. So it all starts with you. You got to go do what you need to do to make that happen. And you have to have the right mentality, you know what I'm saying? Like, quit making excuses for the things that you want to do. If you want to do it, then go do it. It don't have to be perfect. You just got to do it. You got to start somewhere. Everybody has to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Quit focusing on where they are now, and just quit focusing on them, period. You know what I'm saying? Because they have nothing to do with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whether you do it or don't do it, they're going to still be doing what they're doing. So quit comparing, or quit focusing on other people. If this is what you want to do, get in your bubble and go do it. You know what I'm saying? Get in get whatever mentality you need to get into, the way you have your blinders on, and you go do it. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Stop worrying about what other people think. Because one thing that I'm learning is the people who support you are going to support you. The people who want to support you are going to show up for you. The people who just want to come in and be negative, be rude, be disrespectful, that's what they're going to do. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has absolutely nothing to do with what you're putting out there. It's just what they want to do. You can't control other people's emotions, and you can't let the way other people feel control what you do. And again, that was something that I had to learn. But now that I'm learning it, and now that I'm realizing it, I'm putting it out there for everybody else. Don't be scared to do whatever. Don't be scared to do that thing because you're worrying about negative comments or negative feedback. You know what I'm saying? It's going to come, you know, just simply off of the fact that you're living your dream, and you have people who aren't. You have people who are scared. You have people who are where you are right now. Y'all are in the same space of, I'm scared to do this because it's something new. This, the fact that you take that first step of doing it, that is enough for people to not like you because you're doing something that they're afraid to do, or that they're nervous to do, or they're letting their fears control them. So the fact that you can step outside of your fear enough to go do that thing that you've been wanting to do, that alone can bring negative, blowback. So, stop worrying about what other people think, stop worrying about what other people say, and go do it, go pursue your dream. But that's all for today's episode. I want to thank everybody on whatever platforms you're listening on. I want to thank y'all for tuning in and taking the time to listen. Y'all already know I appreciate everything that y'all do, every episode that y'all listen to. I appreciate it. For everybody listening on, for everybody watching on YouTube, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share these episodes, man. Thank y'all a lot. Everybody on TikTok who's been showing me a lot of love on my videos, I want to thank y'all too, man. I appreciate everything that y'all do for me, man. Y'all already know. Have a blessed day. Have a blessed week. Have a blessed life. And man, I just also want to say just real quick, man, appreciate the people in your life. I don't care who they are. I don't care what ways they show up for you, whether it's giving you a ride to work, whether it's just supporting you, listening to you vent, talking to you about your dreams. I don't care how small they contribute or how much they contribute. Appreciate those people in your life, man, who support you and who back you up and who are there for you in your tough times and in your times of need. Those people that you think of to call, man, appreciate those people, man, because that's a blessing. But y'all have a blessed day.